Hello, hello, and welcome back for more cringeworthy concerts and stressful situations down in the cool catacombs and frigid foyers of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. And last episode was all about songs and stress as a team of veteran seekers hauled newbie jester Hopfrog down into a dungeon that was well above his pay grade. And despite the fact that Hopfrog was more outclassed than Ron Paul in a presidential election, the little jester did surprisingly well. I mean, that's not to say he did a good job, he didn't, but he definitely did better than I expected, in that he came back not only alive, but also still reasonably sane. And I would love to take another veteran level mission and toss one of our rookies, like Houndmaster Burrick here, straight into the deep end of the pool to see if they sink or swim. Unfortunately, I don't really have the personnel available to pull them out of the pool if they go full Titanic mode and start sinking faster than that movie sunk Billy Zane's film career. So, instead, I think what we'll do is continue prosecuting the Alicia Cuthbert / Girl Next Door assessment on the dungeon, take a more experienced team and toss them down into the deepening dark, and see if we can't pile up a little additional data supporting my theory that full darkness is basically like turnip juice, in so much that it's absolutely, definitely not worth the squeeze. See, because it would be really hard to squeeze juice out of a turnip. They're pretty solid root vegetables and also taste like ass. So, you know, turnip juice would be pretty gross and hard to obtain, much like full dark runs. So there you go. Analogy complete. Now it's been fully explained and fucking driven into the ground like a pile driver. Let's see if we can find a mission that doesn't suck. This is not that mission. It has a bandana we don't want and is also gather 3 holy relics. Now, we did do a short champion mission last time. I'm thinking we should expand to a medium champion mission this time. The cleansing crystal is so bad. The agility talon does have some merit, but our bounty hunter is already wearing one. Also, complete 100% of this. All of these missions blow. I mean, we could try and kill the Formless Flesh or the Brigand 16-pounder, but there's absolutely no way I'm trying to do either of those things in the full dark. So, it looks like this complete 90% of rooms is going to be the winner of the day. Let's see what we can do for a team here. Now, we do want to try and get some more people up towards legend status, and I think Candy Jade would be a fine leader. Deckard also has some potential. Now, we could go with Lucy Pevensey or Chrysania here as far as Vestals go. I'm thinking it's been a while since Chrysania has been in the dungeon. Let's give her a whirl. And we're out of rank 5, guys, but you know, we could... Oh, Arya Stark, actually. Yeah, let's take a little Ari. Scallions Hunters. Okay, so a named team that we've got here, and I'm reasonably comfortable with this. Let's provision these guys up, toss them in, and see whether they go screaming batshit insane, or if they can come back with enough treasure to justify the punishment of the dungeon. My guess is that they will not come back with enough treasure to justify the punishment of the dungeon, but that's just my guess. I'm going to take 18... you know what? I'm going to take 20 food, actually. 4 shovels, of course. 2 anti-venom, 2 bandages, 1 medicinal herb. We're going to the Warrens. Let's take 2. 1 key, 1 holy water. You know what? Just to cement the darkness, and lest I be tempted, no torches. This is a juice is worth a squeeze test here. We gotta damn squeeze the juice. I mean, even if we are trying to get blood from a beet, honestly, actually getting red fluid from a beet would be pretty easy. I mean, you just gotta squeeze the beet really hard. Maybe that was a terrible, terrible analogy, and maybe I should have taken maybe out of that sentence and just made it a declarative, because that was a terrible, terrible analogy. Also, swine are resistant to disease thanks to their unclean living. That's good to know. They're not resistant to bleeding, which is all we care about with Candy Jade. They're going to be less affected by Arya Stark, but it is what it is, and I don't really like dots anyway. This dungeon, though, holy shit, talk about a pile of turds. Now, we can skip, what, 2 rooms here, I think? Yeah, I think we should just go up, over, and around, and then we'll just, yeah, let's just circle the dungeon. We can keep backtracking to a minimum, and we're snuffing a torch here. We got no backups, and we're snuffed. Let's do this. I guarantee we are not going to be able to make it through a medium-length mission without some additional torch. You know what? I'm going to hang on to this. Also, the emerald is nice. All right, so 500 gold so far. Oh, son of a bitch. So we walked about 9.5 feet, and then... Oh, hello, Shambler. How are you? Good? Yeah, well, less good for me, thanks. Alright, so we got 9 damage on the Shambler. We're gonna have to mark this guy. There's no way we don't start marking this guy and try to get him killed. as quickly as possible. He has 162 health. That's a shitload. What's his blight resistance? 78%, which means that this is almost entirely pointless. Yep, it did 1 damage. So here's the perfect opportunity for us to test out the theory that dots are great against really difficult enemies, because so far, it ain't looking like that's the case. Really difficult enemies seem to be just fucking tearing. Holy shit. Unbelievable. She's bleeding 4 per round for the next 4 rounds. That's 16 total health. What is your bleed resistance? Their blight... This is ridiculous. So she's 0 for 2. Fantastic. Yeah, blights are pointless. Completely and totally pointless. You have got to be in the front, Candy Jade. Everyone is bleeding for a shitload. That's not good. And, yeah, you know what? Can we shuffle him? I guarantee that, yeah, he's going to be 100% move resistant. That was a very bad idea. So we're probably just going to run out of this dungeon. I pretty much think that the Shambler is completely unbeatable now. I don't know. Yeah, we can't win this fight. We're blighted, we're bled. There is no way to beat the Shambler. He simply does too much damage, and the stress is completely... This is ridiculous. Yeah, we're gonna leave. Everybody's gonna die. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Every single one of us, every man-jack of us, is gonna die here.
The sin is not in being outmatched, but in failing
Okay,
to recognize.
so this, yeah, this is ridiculous. We can't continue on this quest. Let's just leave. So there you go, folks. Full dark run. That was fucking fantastic, wasn't it? Boy, that was brilliant. We made 500 gold. Woo! And there's why you can't do full darkness runs, folks. It's fucking absurd. It's completely ridiculous now. Also, we got a huge, completely screwed. So Deckard's out for forever. The Black Plague. Oh, fantastic. Sure, that's not crippling or anything. Fear of beasts as well. Yeah, well, after what the Shambler did to her, I can see why Ari is afraid. This, absolutely ridiculous. We took like 5 steps in a dungeon in full darkness, and if you're gonna make the Shambler that absolutely, ridiculously, stupefyingly powerful, developers, maybe you gotta reduce the chances of the Shambler appearing in full darkness, because that's like the 4th time now that we've gone about 5 steps into darkness and just immediately encountered the Shambler. Sure, I may have some observation bias here because it just seems to happen as soon as I snuff my torch, but that's unbelievably absurd. The chance has got to be, if it's happened this many times to me, the chance is just way too high. We lost an absolute fortune on that mission, and it was, I mean, there was nothing we could do. We didn't even get a go. He basically just walked in and said, hey, all of you are dead now, enjoy that. Ridiculous. So we got to get rid of the Black Plague, which is probably going to cure the rabies that we don't want to get rid of. Also, fucking that dart ability is completely pointless. It does nothing. The dots, they've yet to balance dots. They just haven't fixed them. They are literally worthless. They just don't do anything. They're completely and totally pointless. No disease for Candy Jade. So we basically just wasted a bunch of time and cash on stress relief. No diseases for Chrysania, at least. Or did she even go? Maybe she didn't even go. I don't remember. My Deckard was in there for like 5 minutes and got, yeah. So I'm real salty right now. Real salty. Because that's been my experience, and darkness is just, I'm not doing it anymore. There we go. I'm calling that definitive proof that the juice is not worth the squeeze. In 3 full dark runs that we've done, we've encountered a Shambler twice now. Almost immediately, both times after snuffing our torch. And the other time, we still managed to lose money. So, yeah, it's just, it's not worth trying. If you intend to have a long campaign and try and keep your team relatively healthy and safe, doing the darkness is, I mean, I don't understand what possible point they expect it to have. Because the loot would have to be just insurmountably better for it to even be something you would ever consider. It's just ridiculous. It's the reward is not anywhere close to the overwhelming risk. I mean, it's not even... I'm done talking about it. Balanced, irrepressible, steady, all of these are terrible. I'm just looking to see if we have any quirks I want to lock in. Clutch Hitter is okay, but I don't really think I want to lock it in. Slug Grip, no. Balance, Quick Reflexes, Weapon Tinker. Quick Reflexes is okay. Probably not really worth locking in. Who else has something they might want to lock in? Dorian? You? No, not really. Deckard? Well, you're busy. Chrysania, how about you? Not really. Brienne, what about you? You have Faded. Absolutely, then we want to lock that in. So let's get Brienne up here. We're going to lock in Faded. There we go. Murph? Yeah, you don't really have anything I'd want to lock in. Alright, so let's just do some emergency stress relief then, because everybody's going to need it after that little round of just absolute horse shit. I'm real salty. I'm real salty. That was Candy, you only go to the brothel, right? Yeah. That's fine. Let's take Candy Jade to the brothel. I'm very upset. Very upset with the... Yeah. I gotta say, you overcorrected. That's the long and the short of it. The devs have tried to make the end game harder, and what they've done is make the early game stupefyingly punishing, and the end game they have made... I mean, it's tenable as long as you don't try and go in the darkness. It doesn't really seem that much harder, unless you want to deliberately punch yourself in the dick over and over by trying to do full dark runs. And I'm not sure why you would do that. Why not just take torches? Sure, torches cut into the overhead a little bit. Is that really much of a problem? Not really. Let's go back to the embarkation point, since our first mission took about 9.5 seconds. We might as well try another one, assuming we can put together a team. Would like to do an apprentice mission. Actually, we can... Alright. We could do a veteran mission here with Katniss, Ron Weasley, Florence Nightingale, and Bruenor. Let's take the Fab Four out. Do we have like a short one? Medium? There we go. Let's do that. That's fine. We'll do a short mission here. We'll grab Katniss. We'll grab Florence Nightingale. We'll grab Bruenor. We got the Fab Four. Let's go and try and make some of the money that we lost back. Just so we can, I don't know, try and make some of the money that we lost back. Because we lost an absolute fortune there. We really did. We lost like 10 grand in provisions. So we're going to have to be very conscious of picking up cash, because I got to say, in the old darkest dungeon now, getting the cash, pretty damn difficult, since you have to spend everything you make for a mission reward every time by getting rid of all the diseases that you picked up for getting kicked in the dick for completing a mission. We're actually probably going to lose more money, because this is a short mission, and short missions don't really have huge potentials for loot, so... I provisioned for a medium mission. I'm an idiot. Yeah, well, my stupidity aside, I'm sorry. I'm on tilt a little bit. I'm not ashamed to admit it. The pinball machine... Oh, fuck me. And you know what? Winded actually is not that bad. Still, fuck me. I'm completely on tilt here. The walking into a dungeon and just getting fucking whacked by the Shambler. That's the second time it's out... I'm salty. My salt is free-flowing. The salt is strong. It's big, chunky, big bricks of crystallized pure salt. I'm not pleased about the surprise, either. The surprise mechanic, I gotta say... I'm thinking maybe... I'm hoping it's bugged, because it seems like players just don't ever get the advantage of surprise anymore. Even in high light levels, it's just not something you see. Also, this surprise for us, however, really blows. That guy did 10 damage to Bruenor despite the fact that he had already riposted, huh? And that was not a critical? Okay, sure. So your mark attack does 7 damage. Sure, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable level of damage for a marking attack to do without critically. Yeah. Weasley, you're killing me, Ron. You're fucking killing me, Weasley. You're killing me, Ron. So Tentacle Devour, dodged and riposted. I'm so salty right now. I really am. The Shambler thing, I'm supremely pissed off. If you're every time you walk into the dungeon, you just run into the Shambler in the darkness, why even have it be there? I mean, the Shambler, he's fucking unbeatable now. We had 2 rounds and he had everybody on death's door with like 20 points of bleed and blight on them. It seems a little egregious. It really does. Just keep reposting, Bruenor. You're the man-at-arms we have to suffer through to get to level 6, so, I mean, you got a long road to hoe. Men-at-arms, since the update, not really particularly gifted. I mean, they're not terrible, they're just kind of run-of-the-mill mediocre. They're no Hellions or Arbalists, or even a Leper, really. Their damage output is considerably reduced. Katniss Everdeen, sticking a nice arrow in that slug for us, that's good. Bruenor can't bonk him, we'll just have Bruenor continue reposting. Because there really isn't a whole lot else for the man-at-arms to do. I mean, they can riposte, and it's still their best ability, even though the fact that it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. It's still the best they got. You could have them sit in the back, I suppose, and just do dodge buff and speed buff. You could just have them sit in the back and bolster and guard, but if you want to sacrifice a position of no offense, you could, I mean, you could do better. If you were looking for a defensive buff guy, you might as well just have a jester because they're considerably better at it. They have a better buff and stress reduction, which is kind of what you spend all your money on these days. Stress reduction and healing diseases. The disease mechanic is interesting. I do like the diseases, but I think they maybe went way, way overboard, like being excited about the new diseases, and they really made them way, way, way too fucking prevalent. Having half of your team get diseased for successfully completing a mission, getting diseases from just monsters randomly howling, they've gone a little overboard. Also, why are we having Florence Nightingale open crates and stuff? What the hell is wrong with me? That's fine. We have plenty of food. I bought too much anyway. Now let's burn another torch. And you know what? I bought too many torches as well. So I might as well burn another torch. Here's a fight for us. Cultist Gladiator. I'm all the salt. How you guys doing? Are you doing good? I mean, you got some pork here and I've got the salt. So why don't we get together here and see if we can't make a little salt port action happen? I mean, worst case scenario, we could sell it to the British Navy along with some hardtack. Have you guys got any maggoty flour? I sense a burgeoning sort of supply industry kind of thing happening between the pigs down in the Warrens and the keepers of the Perfidious Manor here. There's a chance for commerce here, fellas. I really think we should try and make it happen. Drums of Debilitation. That's a debuff. Little Butcher's Cut. Fine. Bruinor's still holding his own, despite the fact that he's taking quite a bit of damage. He's actually doing okay. 13 aggregate damage from the Wheeze there. Bruinor just keep bonking. 2 damage. That's not particularly impressive. More suppression. Alright, so critical and accuracy debuffs. The critical debuff really seems to be the only thing I have noticed in the debuff department that seems to matter at all at high levels. And yeah, there we go. More diseases, sure. Just got puked on by a pig, picked up tetanus. Fantastic. We're going to be spending so much money on disease resistance. Just on curing diseases, it's remarkably unpleasant. It really is. I gotta say, Darkest Dungeon has been leaving me a lot salty, a lot more frequently since the update. And it's not that troopers have been dying either. That's the thing, is their goal is to make the game more difficult, but I'm not sure they have, if that sounds strange enough, because it's not like we're losing fights. I mean, apart from the Shambler, which is just absolutely absurd now. Apart from the Shambler, we haven't really had fights where we've just gone in and been completely overwhelmed. We've had some difficult fights on occasion, but I don't know. Overall, the game just seems way more grindy than it used to. It doesn't seem more difficult, it just seems like more of a pain in the dick. The damage output of this group is definitely leaving something to be desired here. And it's not that these pigs have high protection stats either, because they don't. Why is Bruinor he's bleeding for like 50 a turn? What the fuck? You know what? It's fine. Just bolster. How is he in front, also? Bruinor, you should have just taken a style. We got surprised. Of course we did. I'm so salty. I'm straight up tilting. This is gonna be like the worst mission I've done in fucking 25 runs. Because the Shambler thing... it's a complete dick-kicking ambush. I don't need fucking portraits. My salt. I can't focus. I can't concentrate. I'm tilted. I'm tilted. If I was at a poker table right now, I would hope that the dealer would be kind enough to just say, sir, you should consider leaving the table because clearly you are fucking not holding it together, man. Get yourself together, you fucking piece of shit, or get out of here. This is a short dungeon, too. This is a short dungeon. That's the other thing I'd like to point out. Yep. I don't have anything good to say about any of you. I don't have anything good to say about any of you. Bruinor, Katniss, you know what? Jump on a saw blade at this point. I don't care. You can jump straight on a saw blade. I don't give a shit. So we got a spider fight. That's fine. I'm sure it'll only kill like 12 to 14 of us with ridiculous criticals, because I did let my light level slip below 75 accidentally. Bruinor is marked, and I gotta say, the mark seems to be at least sort of working. Maybe the enemy's proclivity to ignore marks was something of a bug that they have since rectified. There we go. Finally, somebody doing something. Thank you, Ron Weasley, for making us laugh about dead spiders again. Yeah. How come blight attacks always work for the enemy? That's my other question. And you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna try and stop complaining. I mean, I'm not gonna stop complaining because I'm completely on tilt. I'm totally full of salt. I'm angry as hell. And I'm just not gonna take it anymore. I didn't even pay attention to what our mission was on this. I don't want to leave the dungeon yet. It's nice to know that I can leave any time, but I don't want to leave just yet because we haven't even come close to making our money back. We will have lost a fortune if we leave now, so let's just continue exploring. We could pick up another fight. I'm dubious of whether or not that would be worth it, but it definitely is worth investigating this stuff, especially since we know we're not going to run into any random fights. The books we'll leave alone. They've not had good luck with the books since the update. Except for the occultist. The occultist still does have the I have magic powers that allow me to be unreasonably lucky. This team is terrible with traps, as I recall, are they not? 50%, 50%, 50%. Basically, it's a coin flip for everyone. That means Bruenor. Why don't you just go jump face first onto that, pal? There you go. How'd that feel? Good? Yeah? Ambushed by ancient invention. That's fine. Yeah, it's good. Stashed heirlooms. Any busts? Of course not. The only thing we really want out of this piece of shit dungeon, and we're not going to get it.
The light, the promise of safety.
We could go do one more fight, and in the interest of treasure, I think we probably should. So our torchlight is as high as it's possibly going to get. This fight's going to be fairly easy, but if we can pick up any coin at all, it will actually be worth it. Unless Bruenor dies, in which case it actually still might be worth it, because I gotta say, I'm way unimpressed with men-at-arms these days. They're subpar. I might actually have to rank men-at-arms down in the... I might have to put them down in the lower part of my rankings now, like above Plague Doctors, and then it would be Plague Doctor at the lowest, because Plague Doctors are absolutely terrible. Probably just above that, I would say maybe Grave Robbers, and then probably, I think, maybe the Man-at-Arms. They're not good. A little Ren for the old gods. We're still riposting. Bruenor picking up a kill. As long as they can get someone to attack them, they're still okay. It's just the getting someone to attack them that's a problem. And then, of course, once they're being constantly attacked, you run into a lot of stress issues. Alright, so we can do nothing. Might as well swat these corpses then. Actually, the smart thing to do there would have been to go for some stress relief. So let's bolster, since we can't do anything else. And Katniss, please just end my suffering. Please. Thank you, Katniss Everdeen. Thank you for ending my suffering. I appreciate you taking pity on me. You are a remarkably lovely woman. So let's get the hell out of here. I got stressed for leaving the dungeon! Oh man, just like, you couldn't let me have it, could you, Darkest Dungeon? No, just had to give me one last fucking kick right in the dick, didn't you? Fucking jerks. I mean, kicking a dick, this is gonna be it right here. So, Demonomania, yeah, you know what? I don't even care. I really don't care. Oh, Wheeled Explorer replaced Weapon Tinker. That's actually an upgrade for Bruenor. Quick Reflexes replaced Fast Healer. That's arguably a wash. I don't want to be in the dungeon anymore. Can I leave the dungeon now, please? Can I leave the dungeon? Thank you. I just want to go home and crawl into bed with a bottle of Burrick's Blackberry Brandy. That's really all I want to do. I just want to go be in bed and drink myself until the world goes away. So, Florence, do you need stress relief? How much do you actually have? 20. Is there anything you won't do? You don't really care. You're mercurial. It doesn't mean anything. Fine. Alright, let's just cheap stress relief for you. If you'll pray, pray. Weasley, if you'll pray, pray. Katniss, Katniss will not pray. Bruenor. Good. Everybody do that, then. Arya Stark got rid of her disease. That's nice. She's a witness, so she will not pray. Alright, that's fine then. We'll just send Arya to try and drink away the memory of the Shambler. You really probably should do that. Bruenor, what is your deal? You're resolute. You will do anything but drink. Well, why don't you gamble, I suppose? Oh, you're already taken care of. It's Katniss who won't pray. Oh, Katniss will only drink. That's a lady after my own heart, Katniss. What do you say we go drown our sorrows together, my dear? Hop Frog, I suppose we can probably finally get your stress taken care of as well. Anything you won't do? You're God-fearing, so you will only pray, which means we've already filled up the prayer slot. I'm an idiot. I'm on full tilt. I've made every possible mistake that one could make in this dungeon, and I'm gonna flee before I shame myself further. But really, the Shambler thing... Complete sucker punch. Complete sucker punch. Worse than that Zack Snyder movie, and that shit was a sucker punch, because the sucker punch was how awful it was. I'm going to wrap things up, though. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode and liked seeing me be furious and salty, or getting rampaged by the Shambler, consider dropping a like down in the comment section. Your support really does mean a lot to us. And if you'd like to see more Darkest Dungeon, I consider subscribing as well. We post new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right now, however, I am going to go try and take a bath in some clean water and start marketing saline, as my natural saltiness should be more than adequate to flood it with a medical-grade saline solution. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.